Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Guess what? It's been a while since we've had a Bishop game, so we're going to do a Bishop game. Here's Bishop in the bottom right of Polypoid, one of the most fun and beloved players on the channel, but it's not going to be his Terran vs. Zerg today, which is generally the crowd favorite as far as Bishop games go. Instead, it's going to be a Terran vs. Protoss, so we'll see what type of shape he's in this matchup. He is going here against Sky, who's been very, very active lately. Sky's been near the top of the ladder, but so has Bishop. Both these guys, I think, looking to do their best, as the Brood War scene is so alive and well right now. Everyone's really trying hard to get to the top of their game. You know, those SSL qualifiers are coming right up, so excited to see that. Okay. As far as Polypoid TVP goes, one of the better TVP maps. I think it gives us a lot of interesting games. There are some funny things about it, like that high ground third base can be a little bit hard to break in if you're doing some sort of very early timing, like a 3 siege tank timing. These happen to be cross spawns, so you know that adds a whole layer of complexity as far as the game goes, where it can be very hard for the Terran to push there. Yeah, so while we kind of wait for the game to build up a little bit and show us where it wants to go, I want to thank you guys for tuning into ArtosisCasts. I very much appreciate it. I hope that you guys are enjoying the channel. You know, I did already mention that CNSL, Caster Muse, is still looking for a time where you can actually get the players to play it. It's going to probably involve the players from the next season of SSL. Normally, it's just the players that don't qualify, and it was supposed to be after last season, but the scene has been so active. He's had a really hard time finding times for people to play, so not a big surprise, right? Like, so much stuff's popped up. The new Star League, the PSL, has popped up. You know, there's like all the KCM stuff. There's all sorts of other show matches that people are doing. Tons of Pro League content, university content. Like, there's so much going on in that Korean scene. But you know, we'll do that as soon as we can. As soon as that starts up, I'll be casting all of that, of course. But yeah, Brood War is in, honestly, I think, a great spot. I think you'd be hard-pressed to prove me wrong on that. It's really, for a game this old, the amount of support that it has right now from the scene, the amount of tournaments going on, the amount of really great players playing every day. It's just a fantastic time to be a Brood War fan. So anyways, it looks like probably a factory expansion here from Bishop. He is doing the N Scout, so he'll scout his opponent here, Sky, last. I don't think it's going to change anything, really. You know, it's just like a cross spawn, and not really a lot to see over there anyways. It's not like a Nexus first or anything, so should just be a pretty normal position as far as the opening goes. Probably a Vulture expansion, if I had to guess, coming out here from our Terran player. Scouts there are going to go to the north now. Dragoon coming out. And it is range with 2 pylons into the Nexus. So pretty standard. This, in my opinion, is the safest opener. Skipping the Zealot and going range, 2 pylons Nexus. Like, if I see this, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing anything. Like, the range finishes really, really quickly. So, like, even if you tried to push with anything, imagine if he had made Marines nonstop and then pushes like Marines and Vulture or tries to get a tank. Range is done before you get there, basically. So it's really hard to get anything done. Vulture runs into the Dragoon. We'll take some of the shields off and go past. We'll see if he gets mines really quickly here. I would imagine he's going to. SCV gets a very solid scout. Ooh. 3 Marines here will easily push this back. SCV coming out, and that's going to repair this Vulture. This has been trending pretty well. People are being very careful with this SCV and repairing the Vulture. I've seen that a lot lately. Obviously, that was always a good move, but I feel like it's a more planned now, whereas before it was just like, oh yeah, I have both these. Let's go ahead and meet up somewhere. Let's have a rendezvous on the map and get this done. Now, this is going to be a DT drop, it looks like. This is really smart in a way, and it's like kind of a basic mind game, but the SCV came up, and as soon as the SCV left, he put down the Citadel. The SCV was like here when he put down the Citadel. So he's making sure it doesn't have any residual vision. You scout this, you're like, okay, I don't need detection quick. Just why would you? You know? Like, you haven't scouted DT tech already. So this is literally the quickest DT tech he can have without his opponent knowing it in this particular game. And normally when you get a scout in like that, you're like, well, he probably won't do anything, you know, because the DT tech being later makes it a lot weaker. Kind of funny. And that way it makes it stronger, doesn't it? All right, so pushing forward, this is a very smart move. You're trying to get information with this. So he pushes up. Yeah, and look at this. He's going to get some probes as well. Oh, no, that's bad micro from Bishop. Really should have just pulled the tank back and hit probes with it. He was trying so hard to finish off this really red stalker. And I understand the want to do that, but as soon as the probes come up, if you just kill some probes and back up, like, look at this. He's up 7 workers. Like, you're so far ahead here. You feel fantastic here. This was a great, great push. Now, 2 DTs being made. The shuttle is already out. Sky is pretty safe from here. But look at the mines. Now, at this point, Bishop should start making some missile turrets. Because right now, it's like no observer is out. There should be an observer right now picking off mines. And there's not. So it's like, okay, well, it should be a shuttle then. And there's the turrets. So the turrets, you know, just... This is why builds like this aren't necessarily... Like, people do this still, and it definitely does damage. Even at the pro level, you'll see this get in there and find some edge that doesn't have turrets. And there are locations, right? Like down here doesn't have any detection. Maybe like this corner doesn't have detection. Maybe he can probably hit right here. So there's definitely areas to get damage. But he does have turrets, so it shouldn't be a game ender. He might actually be able to deal damage to both these factories. Okay, sees the turret, he'll turn around. This goes down here. There's almost never a turret down here. And you can see Bishop realizes as he flew in here, he's like, yeah, I know what that is. Ooh! Okay, ferries the DTs over here to stop this missile turret now. The mine lays have been smart. So we'll back up a little bit here and show. The turret can see to about here. Right about there. So he is getting some damage. Now, there is actually a trick here where you can bring up an SCV and target it to deal the splash damage to the DTs. You haven't lived till you've killed DTs like that. But, yeah, this is being annoying for him. Sky, in the meantime. Ooh, a Vulture actually slips its way in. Oh, Jesus. Wow. He missed the swipe because it went underground. That's crazy. If he had actually just, like, not given the swipe command, he actually probably would have gotten it when it popped up. Wild. Okay, so that gets some more probes. 43 to 37. So even though he did damage over here, he took some damage as well. Very fast Arbiter. Nexus coming up at that 12 o'clock position. Getting into a few more factories. Now, Bishop needs to figure out what's going on. He has some vultures out. Okay, we just saw a scan. Okay, there you go. That's kind of the main thing, because like every follow-up exists from a DT opener, like a DT drop, because you already have the robo. So it's like you could go into speed shuttles and Psystorm. You could go into Gateway Man. You could go into Arbiter. If you're Nyokin, you could go into carriers. You know, there's like, you can kind of do anything. So like once you get hit by DTs, it's important to identify what you're up against so that you can play towards that. But when it's like, okay, so it went DT into Arbiter, almost never a good idea to try to push against this. In my opinion, it's very clear that you should just take a third base as quickly as you can safely do. We'll see if he goes for that or if he wants to push. He just got his Goliath range done. He's getting an add-on on the starport, which tells us he wants to get a dropship, which leans more towards, in my opinion, going for an expansion. Although every player plays a bit different, right? Maybe he just wants a science vessel quickly. It could be that. We don't see the science facility, though. He has, again, the second armory, which tells us he wants a science facility. right, more gates coming up. One Arbiter is out. Would love to see him continue that Arbiter production. I think it's really important to keep consistent Arbiter production. So he is trying to push here. So he might look at this and just say, you know what, I did enough damage. I want to continue to push. The problem is running out of scans. He is making that dropship as well. Wow, that DT did as well as it could have. So already 2 scans utilized. So he's got 2, 3 scans left. So here comes the Arbiter. If he can force another scan, he just needs to force 3 more scans and then cloaked units win. Now, maybe you get a missile turret down somewhere. That's a possibility. The thing is, there's very specific buildable areas. Here, 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 here. So, like, he'd have to get a missile turret in one of these areas. And are those areas enough that having units up here makes sense to do some sort of slow push around that missile turret? So another scan got used. Obviously, as it takes longer and longer for him to pull out scans, more scans will be gained. Right now, there's 2 left, but there's going to be 2 more relatively soon. See? All right, brings up a shuttle with some zealots in it. Oh, God, he gets nothing out of it. There was 4 zealots in that shuttle. Now, brings up the Dragoons with this Arbiter, and will pick off a Siege Tank, but the scan helps him to kill a lot of the Dragoons. Bishop's push is absolutely destroying. Sky is having the worst time against this push right now. One, two, three. 3 scans. Pretty damn good. Okay, throws 1 scan down there. Not necessarily a great scan. More Arbiters on the way. Recall actually on the way. So a higher risk, higher reward spell being researched here for that Arbiter. Gonna lay some mines. The mines will lessen the amount he needs for scans. Another scan goes down. Zealot's running in. He's got to save this Nexus, man. You cannot be losing that. Okay, clears the high ground units, so that definitely buys some time. Now you have no vision here. Might need to use a scan or send some vultures up. By the way, during this, we actually don't have an additional command center. So that makes it even more important that he actually gets this. You got to be careful about this. You cannot let him get this Nexus for free right now. So look at this. Brings this forward. I would love to see him just bring that Zealot down. Out of detection, it looks like. Okay, does have another scan there. Oof. Little push coming over this side as well. Actually, this push has some pretty good potential since so many units have been spent up here. But he did save the Nexus, which is super important. I didn't miss a drop. You missed a drop. Oh my God. Vultures come up and might get some good damage. He's going for the Nexus with Vultures. Oh my God. He's going to get it. And he ends up killing the Nexus. Huge, huge moment there. Sky in a lot of trouble right now. So now Sky's economy is pretty broken up. Bishop taking another command at that 3rd. Has those 2/2 upgrades on the way. EMP coming as well. Does have to be careful. This is not great defense against... oh, that's so funny. There's a mine in here. I think you should kill the mine and make a depot. You know, he doesn't have great recall defense. And we know that recall is already researched. Nexus going up again. Nexus going up again. You can see, though, like, he ended up getting it with 3 Vultures. That was holdable for Sky. He didn't... like, you replay this game, he probably doesn't lose the Nexus. So the push does pay off for Bishop, which at the end of the day, I guess, is what matters. Putting a turret in there instead. Starting to set up some pretty heavy anti-recall defense. EMP almost done here. Does have that 1 vessel with good energy on it. Has 2 attack and 1 armor upgrades. So really, really solid upgrades. Very nice, healthy factory count as well at 7. 7 is a great defensive number on 3 bases. 7 will allow you to get into a 4th command center very well. Very many Arbiters out at the moment. Zealot's starting to be added in as his Dragoon count has reached the numbers he wants it at. The upgrades are coming for Protoss as well. Just getting into that +2 attack. Okay, so the game has definitely slowed quite a bit here. And what do we think is going to occur? It looks like Bishop wants to do a push, and he has a lot of supply. He doesn't really have a lot of other great options. He has very good upgrades, the 2-2 almost done, and he actually has EMP. I think very much of this just comes down to the spell usage from Protoss. Obviously, Protoss does not have as big an army, or as good an army, or as upgraded an army. But he does have these Arbiters, so let's see. Okay, so no spells cast. I think you just have to stop the push and wait for this to thaw. So he sieges up. I think this is actually an excellent choice. Just siege, kind of sit here, lay a few mines, make sure you're fine. Because I think that really the Science Vessel is the backbone of this. Because if he stasises a bunch of the tanks and just whittles your army down, you're going to be really screwed at that point. Pushing on 3 base... If it doesn't work, like 3 base push is a little bit all-in-ish from Terran. 4 base push, okay, you actually have a lot of options at that point. Now, the Arbiter coming around for a recall. Looks like he might be choosing to recall on the natural. Maybe he was looking to see if there was a 4th as well. But here we go. And there it is. Pretty darn big recall. And it's on top of the armories. So he's going to lose both armories. Not the most common thing. You actually put the armories in the natural to try to prevent this from happening. But nice move. Is going to prevent some upgrades. Yeah, just 2-2. The 3-3 going to be canceled out. And Bishop takes this opportunity to counterattack. He had that army that was out here. Looks like he actually moved before it was unthawed, since this didn't come with him. But he's pushing forward really, really quickly here. He's going to lose a lot of those front units. Okay, Stasis goes down a couple tanks. Still this army a little bit alive down here. He's dropped the SCV count down to below 40, which is kind of a crucial number. Would love to see Bishop grab these units, bring them over as well. Finally, this recall is just about cleared up, and he is actually losing another comsat as well. So there's actually a lot that can go wrong here for Bishop. He stasis is 2 more tanks. I think this is basically just held. And then he can kind of sit around and be like, all right, this stasis goes off first, so we sit here, and then we move up here and clear this one, and then we move down here and clear this one. Right. Does have a potential EMP here. Bringing up... Wow, that's a very small army to bring up here. Okay, tries to bring it up to timeout with the other one coming up. Ooh, another stasis on those 2 tanks. I'm not sure why he's spending stasis on so few units, but... I guess that's what he wants to do. 4th command center goes up, and he did clear this group, and now he's coming down. You know, exactly that type of thing. This is like a very common thing. You just kind of remember what order things went in, and then just go and clean them. Good detection there from Bishop, so he does at least trade for a couple units. More siege tanks coming up. Bishop so far behind now. Well, I think the game is... We're getting into a position that Bishop can't really win. This is bad. He's got, like, this mining base and this mining base. He does not have great defense. Like, this is okay. But it's like he needs a huge amount here, and then he needs to watch out for recall here, or even just a counterattack. He has 0 units up there right now. I think we're just going to see Sky kill him at this point. I actually, like, I mean, let's see. I look at these numbers. The numbers are like a very good way to kind of judge where the game is at if you kind of keep track. Another Nexus going to be going down. And looks like he wants a recall in the main. No, he actually turns it around. Okay, okay. I think that he should not recall right now. I think right now you just make like another Nexus on top of the Nexus that you have and get Psystorm and just be really happy. Because like even if Bishop maxes out again, he's not maxing out an additional time. At 40 workers, it's just not going to occur. 40 workers, 2 base. Okay, does a big recall in here. Thing is, he has a big bank, so... If you do this recall, though, you want to follow it with a second recall. You clear this area, so the next recall is more powerful. More units coming back to help clear this. He does have enough in the main base, though, to clear it out. It's just a matter of how quickly you're able to do so. Yeah, remassing well. 124 to 200. Oof. The 5 base is very important. Got to get some probes down there, and he is doing so. Double Stargate Arbiter at this point. Okay, another recall going to be coming in, and this is what I was talking about. This position's already weakened. It's going to come up, hit another one. Oh, right on top of those mines. Actually, they don't do that much damage. Loses the Arbiter very, very quickly. Another Arbiter flying in. Sometimes it's better to just recall that Arbiter with it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, right on those tanks. All right, here we go. This is gonna be bad. And this one actually has energy for stasis. I don't know that the stasis is that helpful. This is actually kind of a very small amount of units that are in here. But he's being so annoying. Like, you know, as Terran here, you're like, yeah, I'm pretty dead. This is slowing him so much. Even if he clears this all really, really efficiently, like, the minerals are not growing back, guys. And he knows that his opponent has to be taking another main base at this time, which he is. Like, every Protoss in the world does that. You keep throwing down recalls, you buy time, you make more bases, they come out, and it's sloppy, and you're able to just kind of clear things. Some very hurt factories. Bishop's still trying to recover, I guess. We're hearing some scans go down. A little bit surprised. Like, well, Bishop's just trying to defend. He's being a little bit stubborn, which I can't really say too much negative about. But, like, he is so mega screwed. Like, at this point, we're watching a recall of, like, 25 units die to kill, like, 4 units, a turret, and 3 depots, and he's actually getting further ahead from it. It's kind of crazy. He's dealing like no damage. Well, I mean, not no damage, but you look at financially what he's getting, and it's not a lot. Now, Bishop's going to counterattack. He is not going to find a better moment than right now. He should bring every single unit, rally every single factory, and just go completely all in here, because there's not going to be any recovery otherwise. Okay, starts to push towards this base. There is still, like, maybe he can do it. He needs to be so efficient here, though. That, perfect. I was going to say, perfect stasis. Now he can't lose this base for a really long time. Slows him just forever. This is the longest spell duration in the game, is stasis. It's like 43 seconds, I want to say. It's just technically lockdown is the same amount of time. Okay, big attack incoming. 0 units here, just some mines and missile turrets. Oh, it actually gets the MP, but the vessel does get frozen. Yeah, lots of these stasisers coming in. You could probably just kill the command center at this point. Once again, trying to push up into this base. Don't forget, though, another main base. Getting ready for another main base here as well. Kills off that command center. Gonna have to float the main and the natural ones out if you're gonna try to remain in this game. Hey, he's actually pushing this base down, which is kind of nice. How many bases does that give him then? He has got this mineral base with not that much. Then he's got this main. Again, getting ready for this one. But losing this one, that's kind of big. Bishop has this base mining still very healthily. You can float a command center and retake this, although it's not a ton of minerals left. Does he still have some sort of shot here? If Bishop wins this game, that'll be a big surprise. No, I don't think it's possible. The 200-200 army, throwing down more nexuses, sitting back in arcs, just kind of ready to cast those spells and attack move into the Terran army. All right, siege is up. Pretty decent siege position. Really cost efficient with these 3-3 upgrades. 3-1, not bad. For Sky. All right, going to attack up into the last mining base here of Bishop. Bishop actually turns his army around at this point. He did get rid of this Nexus, so that's nice. Like, kind of a weird game. Throws another stasis down onto these tanks. Any amount of efficiency at this point is a game win for Sky. Bishop holding on an insanely long amount of time. Yeah, I like the goon sacrifice there. Second goon sacrifice. Well, doesn't die, but, you know. Throws him into the mine so he can get the command center. Command center's lifting off here for Bishop, but still down 100 supply. He's definitely done a lot of damage. I think that between killing this and canceling this, he's like, well, you're only mining on one base, so I still have a chance. I don't think he does. Because now that you're lifting this, this is your only mobile detection other than, like, if you still have a science vessel. Does he have a vessel in here? I actually do not see one. He really should make one. But yeah, that's like, his entire detection is going to be like 2 comsats. Oh, no, he has one. There it is. MVP unit right now for Bishop. If he's going to win this game, it's going to have a lot to do with this guy. All right, lands that command center. Ooh, trapping a lot of goons in here. Oh, my God. Making some blue soup there. Another recall to the main, it looks like. No? Turns it around. Oh! Gets the EMP. That's a big EMP right there. Can you get another? All right, Arbiter flying up. Ooh, that's a big stasis, getting 5 tanks. Okay, good defense matrix. I like it very much. Oh my God, that is a lot of Arbiters. That is good just to deny detection. There's so little detection. He did add another one. He's got one scan right now, guys. So he needs one scan, and, like, if he actually realized this, he could just go in with the cloaked units. Because a scan just does not last as long as a stasis, so you will eventually break him. Seriously, though, if Bishop comes back in this game... that would be so crazy. That is, like, only Dragoons right now against mass 3-3 siege tanks. Okay, the stasis is over. Our hero science vessel is back. Hey, gets another Arbiter. Couple more stasis go down. Dude, he's really not mining much. He has this Nexus now. If he can get those probes down there, that'll be huge. Yeah, there's no units in the way, just a few mines. Okay, finally another attack going in on these tanks. There's just not enough this time at all. Some Goliaths coming up, trying to help out, but too little, too late. 99. Looks like GG. Very stylish from Bishop. Okay. Okay, I know that was a very long game, and it definitely felt like he was dead for a long time. I'm debating whether or not I should go on a long rant right now. If you're still here, thank you. Leave me a little comment that you're still listening at this point. But I just want to, for one moment, talk about this because the game, you know, Bishop could have won. Maybe not for the last several minutes, but, you know, this could have been a game that he ended up winning. I'm actually going to turn the music off. I think that there is an important thing about StarCraft where StarCraft is not a perfect game. Everyone's making a lot of mistakes all the time. And you want to minimize those mistakes. And the mistakes can come in all sorts of different ways. Like, the thing is, there are some ways are better to play than other ways. I think that we can all agree upon that. And you can play however you want, and you can win in pretty much any way. But just because you can and sometimes do win in a certain way doesn't actually make it a good move. And the thing is, like, Bishop plays a pretty aggressive game. This push was a mistake. He ends up getting this Nexus, and he kills this Nexus. And so, in a way, you can say, well, it wasn't a mistake because, you know, he got ahead by this stuff. But it's not supposed to work. But that is some of the beauty of StarCraft 2. I do recognize this. I do realize this. And you shouldn't be rigid in the way that you play StarCraft. But the theory behind the push, like, if you look at things by, like, first principles or, like, if you look at it over the long term, this push isn't supposed to get this Nexus. It's not supposed to work. Maybe if it's a different map with a very flat area, it's more realistic. When you're pushing up something like this, it's incredibly hard. And the thing is, Sky kind of screws up. And he loses a lot more units than he should, and he loses the Nexus, which shouldn't have happened. And still, Bishop lost the game. So, I don't know. I feel like you look at this, and it's like, okay, you know, I have a lead. I want to do a push. Okay, that seems normal. That seems smart in a way. You get ahead, you go kill them, and it works even at the pro level to a certain degree, but it's not going to give you necessarily long-term the best win rate that you can have. So that's just kind of what I wanted to mention here. I think that this is a mistake against something like the fast Arbiter that his opponent had. I think he could have gotten a very fast third base, masked up the factories, and had either a better push or, you know, possibly gone into a fourth base. Like, the thing is, the game is so infinitely complex. There's, like, so many things that can happen. But the one thing I know most of the time won't happen is killing this Nexus. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. It's been a long one. We'll see you next time.